Hi everybody, I wanted to make a quick video for you so that you can navigate IXL to assign your students skills as well as look at the analysis of any skill that they have worked on. So I am on my teacher IXL page. If I wanted to assign students in my class a skill, I can click on learning. That will bring me to the IXL math page where it lists every grade level. I can click on the grade level that I want and see all the skills within that grade level. You'll notice that next to each of the skills, there is a star. Some of the skills on this page, as you can see, have green bars next to them. If your skills have green bars next to them, that means that you have had students in your class practice that particular skill. You can click on the green bars to view the report, how many students practiced it, what their percentage correct was. I'll show you that in 1 minute. But if I wanted to assign my students a skill, all I need to do is click one of the stars. So you'll see that understands fractions. I already have 1 star here for identify equal parts. So I can assign a skill to all students because I have multiple students listed. Some of them are in Kara Kornberger's class, some of them are not. So I can either assign a skill to all of the students that I have listed under me as a teacher, or I can assign them to specific classes that I have created under me as a teacher. So if I wanted to assign just the skill to Kara Kornberger's class, then I would click Kornberger, and now you'll see that all Kornberger students will get that skill. When I log in as a student in Kara's class, so here you can see in the upper right-hand corner, I've logged in as Abby. When she opens up her page, she'll see recommendations, and over here she has 2 skills that have been suggested by your teacher. You'll notice when I click on them, this is the one that I just showed you that I assigned by putting that star colored in. So now she knows that these are the skills that her teacher wants her to play. I go back into my teacher's page, if I wanted to assign skills, but I didn't want to assign it to the entire class, I just wanted to assign it to a certain student in the class, I can again hover over the star. I can see I have the choice of all students or just students in specific class. If I click on all students, I get a list of all of the students that I have attached to me. I can click just the stars of the students that I feel might need a little bit of extra practice on these skills. And then I can click out of it, and you notice that the shading of the star is slightly different. Here you just have lines that go through it. That tells me that it's not assigned to every student, it's just assigned to some students. Now I told you that some of the skills that have these green bars next to them, that means that you have had students in your class actually practice those skills. So if I click on this, I can view my analysis report for this particular skill, and I can see that 1 student has practiced this skill. They've spent 5 minutes on it. It was a total of 33 questions, and if I break it down, it'll tell me which particular student and what percentage they scored when they took that. You can also check the analysis for diagnostics if you're having your students do the diagnostics test, which many of the 3rd graders are doing. You click on diagnostics and diagnostic overview. It'll give you a breakdown of where your students are currently with the diagnostic test. So this is the math page. It'll list all of the students in your class, and then you will see that there's either going to be a bar that has a range, which means they are not done with their diagnostic test, or you will see that there is a dot, which means that it has pinpointed what they believe to be their diagnostic number in math. The number correlates to grade level. So technically speaking, a diagnostic score of 590 here would mean that the child is approaching the end of 5th grade math. You have to take their diagnostic number with a grain of salt because you don't know how much help the parents are giving them. So in this case, I'm not sure that this is an accurate diagnosis, whereas if I go back up here in Kara's room, I can see Bryce has scored a 380, which puts him towards the end of 3rd grade, and that makes more sense to me. If you click on the different strands at the top, it'll break it down even more, and it'll tell you by group. Students who need to work on certain skills are grouped together, and it tells you what their general working area is by content strand. If your students are working on the language arts portion of it, it will do the same. It will diagnose what their overall English language arts level is, and then it will diagnose what their overall reading level is. To explore some of the other tabs that you have here, if you click on the dashboard tab, it will give you an overview of how many skills your class is mastered, is proficient at, how often they've worked, which students seem to be going on the most. It also gives you the option down here to clear the 3 suggested skills that you have assigned to your class, or however many you have assigned to your class. If you click on the students and you go to Student Quick View, the Student Quick View here will tell you how many questions your class has answered, the average amount of time. It'll tell you your days. If you go down here, you can see your students by name. It'll tell you what they've worked on. So you can see Jasmine's worked in the diagnostic arena. So it tells you that she has 0 questions, 0 minutes, and no practice up here. It doesn't record your questions or minutes until you're practicing a skill. So if she's in the diagnostic area, it's not going to record her minutes. So keep that in mind. But you can see Chloe has been doing diagnostics as well as practicing skills. So on that particular skill that she practiced with fractions, she only spent 3 minutes on it, but answered 14 questions. You can also see their average percentage over here. So you can see that we have some low percentage, we have a decent percentage here. If I go up to progress, the progress and growth tab, okay, this will tell me their skill progress. Again, this is for practicing the skills. And then this section over here is how they are in the diagnostic arena, if they've gone in it yet. So I can see that some haven't gotten to a point where they're even remotely close to pinpointing their level. And then down here, I can see that Bryce has pinpointed his levels both in ELA as well as in math. So you'll know your students have pinpointed once they're listed here. Finally, you have this tab called Live. This brings you to Live Classroom. If you click on it, it will show you any students that are currently listed in your classrooms who are working through IXL. So you can see in the Live Classroom here that one student in Kara's class is working on their IXL and that they are in the diagnostic area. If Michael happened to be working on a skill, it would list the skill that he is working on, and as he progressed through that skill, it might give me an alarm up here where it tells me he needs help, which would be really helpful if we were all in the classroom together and students were working independently. I could see at any given time who I might need to go see, but obviously in remote learning, that's not going to do us very well. So one last way to show you how to share skills with your students, which I think many of you will like, you can share a skill from IXL directly into Google Classroom. Discovered that today. In order to do that, you would click on the skill that you want to share. So say I want to share fractions of a number line. So I'm going to click on it to open it up. Okay, and right above this question answered, it says shared skill. If you hover over it, it'll open it up. You can tweet it. You can put it on Facebook. You can use it as a link, or you can click the second button, which is that Google Classroom button, and you can share it right to your Google Classroom. So you pull it up, it'll ask you whose class you want to share it to, you pick on the class you want to share it to, and there it adds the link right into your Google Classroom. So some quick things about IXL that you may or may not have already known.